Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to show off a couple of different ways for giving different starter Pokemon to the player. First, we'll go over how the starters work in Base Emerald, how Birch's bag works, and we'll show you how to change the starters there if you still want to use Birch's bag to give out the starters. Next, we'll go over how to give out the starters from the lab table, just like in FireRed and LeafGreen. Then, we'll go over how to give out the starters from a multi-choice list, with the possibilities of giving out more than 3 options for starters. Finally, we'll quickly go over how to combine these options to give out the starters like in Radical Red or Inclement Emerald, where you choose the generation and then those Pokemon go inside the balls on the lab table. So the first thing we're going to take a look at is the Birch's bag, how starters are typically given out in Pokemon Emerald. We're here just on the Route 101 map within Pori map. We can see we're clicked on Birch's bag here because that's what starts everything. That's how we get the starters. That's how we initiate that first battle against the Zigzagoon, how you get your starter and all of that. When we click on that bag, it goes into this Route 101 event script Birch's bag. So we're going to go take a look. We can search that, and we want to be just in this scripts.inc for the Route 101. We see, here's the event script Birch's bag. This is what happens when you click on his bag. Locks the movement, typical script things that people do. It's going to face the player, yeah, whatever it does that. These next two, the set flag assist Pokemon get, and flag rescue Birch, these are big things that you're going to want to keep if you're not doing the bag option, especially this flag system Pokemon get. That's going to say, hey, we received a Pokemon. This is going to let you play a lot of the rest of the game. This is a big thing we'll come back to later. But then after that, it sets those flags. We fade the screen to black. It removes the Zigzagoon, moves you to the spot that you're going to be afterwards, makes you walk in faster left, just kind of doing a bunch, waits for the movement, and then here is where it kicks off this special choose your starter. This is where you'll actually get the starter. The rest of the stuff after this is after the battle. It just happens. We hide a bunch of things, clear all that, kind of does whatever, but the big thing is this choose starter special. So if we search this, we can see here the one we're going to want to be, this is just defining it. This is where it shows up in the scripts. Just kind of more other things, but the big thing here is in this starter choose. So we're going to here. This is actually what gives us this choose starter special, kind of what actually works. It does all of this stuff, but basically in this source starter choose file is where we're going to want to be. If we control F in here, just species underscore, that'll take us to this startermon count type thing right here. Typically, it'd be species Trico, species Torchic, species Mudkip, but I actually all you have to do right here, it was Trico, so then I'm just going to replace it with, this is actually kind of a new Fakemon that I put in the game. I want to test out that as well. A new video on that could be coming later. But basically, whatever 3 starters you want to replace, the top one's Trico slot, so the grass starter slot, fire starter slot, water starter slot. That's simple. If you want to just change Birch's bag, it's just right there. That's all you have to do. So we're going to take a look now, and we can actually go take a look and make sure that these new starters are in the bag. So now we're back, ready for this to go, to make sure these starter changes we saw. So we just click A in the bag, and look, hey, here's our new starters. Here's this new Spriglet that I made, new Flareable, and a new Patapup. Just kind of looking, so it's really easy, pretty simple. You can go and you can start it, and it'll just give you this Pokemon right there, and you can use it. That works pretty simple. All you have to do is go into this source starter choose, search species underscore, and you can use Trico if you want, but then species underscore and switch it with whichever name of the Pokemon you want to change for your new starter. It's as simple as that for if you just want to change it, still using the Birch's bag system. Next, we want to look at a very basic getting your Pokemon from the Pokéballs on the lab table, very similar to FireRed, LeafGreen, just kind of your basic standard. So actually in my little root town, instead of putting it in the professor's lab now, just for this, I have it in this other lab, and you can see I'll zoom in here. I just have a table with 3 Pokéballs. It's just an object with all of that. I'll go into more we put later, and we'll kind of come back to this. But we'll go into the script right now. This is just a script for that new house. The first thing I want to do is say, hey, for the left Pokeball, what do I want to do? So that's going to be my script is my house 3, the left Pokeball. We're going to go. The first thing I want to do We're going to lock all. This next step right here is just going to be, hey, if the flag that we chose a starter from this table, I just created this new flag starter chose, then it's going to be like, hey, you can only choose one starter, and it's going to release, you can't pick, you won't go through. But if this if statement doesn't track, we haven't chose a starter from the table yet, then I want to go into kind of this part right here. So we're going to show the mon pick Trico. So this is just what happened. This is how you like pop up the sprite. Just at 10-3 kind of works. That's kind of the typical center of the screen, right where you want. So if you ever want to show a Pokemon sprite just on the screen, this is how you do it. It's show mon pick, the species, and then it's the X value, the Y value. And then I'm going to do a message box. I'm going to say, do you want to pick the Trico, the grass type starter? And then instead of doing like a message box default, message box NPC, I'm just going to do a message box yes, no. So that just props up the classic yes or no, like choice text box. From here, we're going to do this switch case thing. So this is going to say switch based on the result of the one we just picked. So based on the yes or no. If it's case 0, which is no, we're just going to say, hey, we left the Trico on the table. Done. And then in that case, it would go on and it would hide the Pokemon pick. That's how you just cleared the Showmon pick from there. And then we'd release all. If we said yes, which is case 1, then I want to say, oh, hey, you chose the Trico. I want to give you the Pokemon at level 5. If you want more, let's say you could do item underscore Oranberry if you want an Oranberry, but I just want to hey, give me a level 5 Trico. That's it. You can specify more. If you look at the givemon stuff, if you type that and find where it's defined, you'll be able to see there's a lot. So I'll just go right here quick. You can look at givemon. It'll be defined in this macro here, but it'll be like species, level. If you just click on that, that'll be able to show you a lot more. So you can do species, level, item, what ball it's in, what nature, the ability, gender. That's how you can give out like the shiny Pokemon. I covered that in a different one. But then once we give that Pokemon, then I want to set the flags for starting the game, removing the ball. So here I have a set flag starter left. So that's just one that I did. That's just the flag for this left ball. It's going to be the middle ball for here. The script's just mid. It's going to be the right ball for there. And then I want to set that set flag starter chose, which just goes back to here of, hey, you can only choose one ball. I'm not giving you more. This is the part here where you would also want to go into, if it was going to be your very first Pokemon you give, you want to set the flag sys Pokemon get. But for me, I'm not doing that. This is just a secondary starter. That's whatever. And then the last thing I do is I'm going to remove the ball from the table. So remove object 1. This left ball is just object 1. Object ID 1 for me. Middle ball is going to be 2. Right ball is going to be 3. Pretty standard. I do the same for the middle Pokeball. I kind of just copy pasted everything and just changed up left to mid. Changed up this one, I want Torchic being in the middle. And the same thing for the right. Change everything to right. It's object 3. And we put Mudkip. It's fairly simple. I didn't include any of the choices to do nicknames, or you want anything here. You can add like the nicknames. It'd be just anything after this case 1 after you give them on. Checking stuff. This right now would like fail if you had a full party. You'd want to go back into some other stuff, learning about how to give mons. Just kind of copy the same structure from all of those. But that's the basic, just kind of easy how you'd want to do a lab table type script. And I will go into the game and we can check that out together and see how it works. Alright, so I'm stepping into my lab. We can see, hey, here's the 3 Pokeballs. The right one is Mudkip. I'm going to say no. Left on the table. Torchic? Nope. Left on the table. Trico? Nope. Left on the table. Let's pick Torchic for this. We click yes. We chose Torchic. It closes it up. You can see here, hey, look, we have a Torchic at level 5. It does all the other randomization stuff there. To make sure that we can't choose this now, we go to click on it. Oh, hey, look, you can only choose one starter. You can only choose one. Can only choose one. There it is. Kind of basic, like FireRed, just picking up from the lab table. Nothing really too crazy. It's a pretty simple script there. Once you get one ball down, you can just copy paste, get the other ball, kind of change it up there. There's probably a couple different ways you can do this. This is just the simple, quick, easy thing that I did. Again, if you want to add more things, more text, you can change up your text here. This is all in Pori script. So you can do that. If you wanted to write it in the basic scripts editing type stuff, you could. This just worked a little bit easier with the switches and all the various for that. There's other examples of like yes, no boxes if you don't want to use PortyScript, but I highly recommend using that. It's a lot easier to use these if statements, and then it converts it all for you. But if you wanted to add a more like nickname stuff, setting other flags, that'd just be all after you give the Pokemon, doing all that. Pretty simple. Even if you want to do after this, like after you clicked yes on one, you could like add in a script or, oh, your rival walks and takes this other ball and says that, and then you can remove that other ball from the table as well. So just anything after this case 1 is where you would put that. Next, we'll be going over the like multi-choice list to show off if you want to give a number of starters just in a list. Could be 3, could be 5, could be whatever you want. In my game, this old man right here in Little Root Town, we just kind of look at him, we zoom in, it's this guy. He has this Little Root Town event script Kanto starter that I made. So he's going to be the guy that we'll go to get our Kanto starter from our little drop-down list. I'm going to go back into my scripts.pory for my Little Root Town. And here's my Little Root Town event script Kanto starter. I'm having him, we're locking all, he's facing the player. I'm asking him with a message box, hey, do you want a Kanto starter? Which one do you want? And then I do this multi-choice list at 0, 0, so that's going to be the X, Y. This is the multi-choice list, and it's going to be true, just something you want to do. When we look at this multi-choice list, when I find that, we're going to first be in this include constants script at menu. Covered this in another video when I first made this, but we're going to define, and then it's going to be these multi-Kanto starters, and add a new number, just add it below. This will be under the multi-choice IDs. That's all there. We define that. And then we go into this source data script menu.h under the multi-choice list structure with your multi-choice list. So that's all of them there. You want to put it in that same spot in the same order. The multi-Kanto starter, multi-choice list, and then you want to do this multi-choice list Kanto starters. We're going to find that one. And then this was worked down before we exit and do stuff, but I just want to kind of add it there. We do the static constant struct menu action, the multi-choice list Kanto starters. Here we do a component string, Bulbasaur, Charmander, Squirtle, and then this is going to be case 0, case 1, and case 2. You can kind of just go based on these. These all have different G texts. So you can look at this G text battle now. This is where it's defined, and it's just this. Okay, cool, I'll battle now. It's whatever. You can look at a bunch of those. This is the G-Tex Cave of Origin, so this is where he's asking, oh, hey, where is Rayquaza? Is it this? But you can look. It's at this constant. It's just under here. It's kind of whatever in your strings. If you're in your script menu, if you don't have that, you just do, hey, it's a compound string this. That's just how it works. Covered in another video as well. So go back to there. Same thing again here. We want to switch up by case, by the variable results. The var result always goes to this last thing that you do. Case 0, which we said here, that's going to be Bulbasaur. We're going to give Mon Bulbasaur. Here we did a little more. We played the fanfare. We received and obtained the item. We received this. Waited for the message. Waited for the fanfare. This is where we're asking if we want a nickname. Kind of did some other stuff. It's whatever. Then we did case 2. Did the exact same thing. Changed out the species name and all of that. Or case 1, case 2. And default, if somehow we didn't pick any of those, oh, something went wrong. That's just pretty simple. You can add, say we wanted to add another one. Say we wanted Pikachu on there. We could do the same thing. It's pretty easy. You would just go back into the script menu. You could add a new line for Pikachu. That'd be case 3. Just add it below there. Then you could just basically copy paste this, do a case 3, change out the names for Pikachu, and it'll all work. We'll go into this game and show you how it works. Alright, so I'm here in the game, about to talk to the old man. Said, hey, do you want a Kanto starter? Which one do you want? And here's our choice list. If I added a 4th one, we can go down more. Let's just choose Squirtle for this one. Hey, look, we received Squirtle. I don't want to give a nickname. I still have that bugged out. I didn't really care to fix that. This isn't the main game. This is my tutorial thing that I'm working on. So we're going to click OK. We have a Squirtle. Boom, perfect. In this case, I didn't add any of the functionality of, oh, hey, you already picked a starter, you can't pick another one, because I can just pick a Bulbasaur now. So if you'd want to do that, you'd probably want to add something here that, like, hey, we get the flag. Like, hey, if we got the flag this, do that. Very similar to what we did in the townhouse here, where, hey, if we got this flag here, hey, you can only choose one. Or just make him say, hey, if you have the flag, then he says, oh, how's your starter doing? Or whatever, something like that. You can even say, oh, we chose this guy. Oh, how's this guy doing? How's your Charmander doing? Because you picked Charmander. Pretty basic like that. But this way is pretty easy once you just make your multi-choice list. You would just do a big switch case and get the right starter that you want. Now, kind of to mix everything together, we're going to implement kind of a Rad Red, Inclement Emerald style. Ask the professor what gen you want it from, and those gen starters pop up in the balls. So in my little lab here, I had the professor, and he's got to have this event script professor. I go back into my VS Code in the House 3 one. I just have this script here that's my professor. We just lock off, we have the professor face the player, and we do the message box. Hey, which generation do you want to choose from? It does this multi-choice list of this new multi-generation list that I did. Very similar to before. Kind of made it before. We go to the script menu. I added this multi-generation list. And then added Gen 1 is case 0, Gen 2 is case 1, Gen 3 is case 2. You can keep adding all the way up to Gen 9 if you want. But that's just what mine are. Then we do switch, do the kind of the case whens. But we switch variable to result. It's case 0. We set this new variable starter gen. That one is one I also created. Set that to 0 as Gen 1. It starts at 0 for Gen 1. But to do that, I just went into the variables, found this unused variable, and said, hey, here's my variable starter gen, just so we have it. We go here, if we set that to 0, if it's 0, we set it to Gen 1, do all that. That part's pretty easy, so we just talk to him. It does the list, Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3. Which one do you want to pick? Easy peasy. Here we go, we look into the script. Now for the left ball, we have the same, hey, you can only take one. But now here, instead of going right into the species and all that, now we want to switch by the starter gen. So the variable starter gen. So based on the starter gen, that's what generation of starter we want to put in. So here we have case 0 for Gen 1. It's going to be the same thing as we did before. We want Bulbasaur in it. For Gen 2, we want Chikorita in it. We have Chikorita, we changed all those. For Gen 3, we want Trico. We do the same for the middle Pokeball with all the fire starters. So you have Charmander, Cyndaquil, Torchic. And last but not least, same thing in the right Pokeball for all the water starters. You got Squirtle, Totodile, and Mudkip. This is pretty much all you have to do. Again, whatever you do, you can kind of attach under there after you get the Pokemon. Do all that. And at the beginning of all of these as well, even before we do the switching, if you already chose that Pokeball, it's not going to let you do anything. I could add logic up to here for the professor to say, hey, if you did it, be like, oh, have fun with your Pokemon. I didn't care to do that, so you can still switch up this generation after. It's not going to do anything, though. But we can take a look and check it out, see what it looks like in the game. All right, so here we are in the game. We can walk into this lab house. See the professor's right here. When you make a new variable in the Pokémon thing, it starts as variable 0, which is our generation 1. So we should see generation 1 starters in here. I'm going to leave all of them on the table. And we can talk to Birch. He says, hey, what generation do you want to choose from? Let's do Gen 2 now. Now we see Totodile, Cyndaquil, and Chikorita. Pretty cool. And now I want to see Gen 3 starters. Now we have Mudkip, Torchic, and Trico. Let's say I want to go, let's go back to Gen 2, and I want to take Cyndaquil. Now we have Cyndaquil. Perfect. We can see Cyndaquil's in our bag, or in our party now. We have that, perfect. And then once again, hey, you can only choose one starter. Like I said, we can still choose this list. You probably want to add some logic there just to be like, hey, oh, now go do this, do whatever. That's all with that starter choose variable. But still, we can change it up and still, hey, you can only choose one starter. Can't really do much. That's about it. Those are some couple different options of what you can do for giving out starter Pokemon different ways. You know, just change up in the bag if you want to keep using the bag and go into the battle right away after that. Do the lab table if you want, do the list, or do the kind of the Rad Red Inclement Emerald type list. Just a bunch of ways you can do that. But that's all I have now for today. If you guys want to subscribe, leave a like on the video. Leave any comments of other future videos you want to see, other things you want to learn. I can try my best to make the videos. That's all I have for today for you guys. Thank you very much and have a nice day.